what is a factors prompt for AP Lang? Well, there are different ways that they phrase the synthesis question. So a lot of times it'll be like, what is the value of something or the role of something? You basically have to develop a position on it. But sometimes they'll ask about factors. And so last year there was a prompt about food trucks, and it was basically like, what factors does a city need to consider with mobile food service establishments? And so factors in this case might be things like location, the impact on local businesses, the seating, things like that. So factors are just like the different components that you need to consider. In the past, there were some other factors prompts as well. In 2019, there was a prompt about wind farms, and it was asking about which factors companies needed to consider when establishing a wind farm. So for that one, it might have been things like, again, location, maybe the clean and renewable energy, the perhaps aesthetics and what it might look like. It could be the public opinion, things like that. So for that type of synthesis prompt, you're still using three of the sources and everything. That part doesn't change. But basically, as you're reading the sources, you want to be thinking about what issues does this source present. And I think as far as like taking notes and stuff, it can be really helpful to identify the factor or factors that each source might address and then write that out and then make like one column of factors and then in the other column put which sources deal with that factor. Some of my students like to put a little plus if it's like pro, like in favor of something, or a minus if it's against, and then a little equal sign if it's neutral. And that way they can kind of see as they're planning out their argument, like, okay, location was brought up in these three sources, and it was brought up favorably in two of the sources. And that way they can kind of figure out what their main ideas might be, especially if it's a topic that they haven't really thought of before and they know which sources deal with that. That way you're having to do a lot less work as you plan your essay. So anyway, that's what a factors prompt is. But if you want to see it in action, Google AP Lang food trucks prompt or AP Lang wind farms prompt. Both of those are factors prompts for you to look at.